Hi, it's Ariana from Ariana Mullins Bodywork. Today I'm doing a Friday Feels post, but I usually write it out. But today I wanted to do a video because it's a little bit more involved. So Friday Feels posts are a place for me to share stories from the week about clients and kind of the cool results we're getting. It's a place where I'm hoping to share hope about how much can change and how quickly, oftentimes resolving really painful or really complicated issues can be faster and easier than you think. There are things that people like me can help with that maybe you had no idea could even be done. So I love doing my Friday Feels posts. It's such a hope-filled time to share. And hopefully encouraging too. So anyway, today I don't have a specific story to tell. It was just such a good week of working. I felt like it was really fulfilling and really exciting to be doing the work that I do this week, and I wanted to share a little bit more about that. So much of the work that I was doing with my clients felt sacred. It felt so much more significant than body tissue issues. So I want to give you some examples. Just starting the week, I worked with a woman who has been going through the fertility journey. If you know much about how infertility and fertility stuff works, it can be so complicated and it can be such a long road and really, really hard. Well, she is going in for her implantation procedure, hopefully this week. And we spent time this session working on preparing her for that. So it's not just about making sure that the uterus is well aligned inside the pelvis and the pelvic structures are well aligned and that she doesn't have a lot of congestion. Those things are important. But another aspect that is so important is the spiritual and emotional preparation. You know, it's such a big deal to welcome life into our bodies. And especially if the journey has been long and complicated and there may be some conflicts or some trust issues or just some baggage that we're holding in our pelvic space. So I had a session with her just preparing herself and her pelvis to welcome life, to invite that in. We work with imagery and sensation. So, you know, making, contact, being able to perceive the tissues of the pelvis and making sure that energy flow is good, and then using symbolism and things like that to do whatever each person individually needs to do to feel like that space is ready for new life. So that was really cool, and this is something that I do with a lot of the clients that I'm working with for in preparing for conceiving, and it's always really cool. Let's see. That day, I also worked with a mom who was about to deliver, pregnant, and again, making sure that everything in her pelvis was aligned well, releasing tight ligaments that were causing her pain. And then I did an assessment of her pelvis to make sure that everything was moving evenly so that during the delivery, her pelvis would be able to open as it needs to for a smoother, more efficient delivery. And then usually when we get toward the last weeks, we do talk about the elements of, the spiritual nature of childbirth and preparing more emotionally and forming that partnership with baby in preparation for childbirth. That same day, I also worked with two moms who were recovering from cesarean deliveries. One of the moms I've been working with for a while, and her scar tissue is complex and interesting and is many years old, and I've seen really cool things happen with her. And then another mom I worked with was more newly postpartum, and it was a traumatic delivery. And even for her, touching her scar, the idea of touching her scar is very triggering. And so working with her was very different from working with the other client who has the scar tissue. But we worked a lot with the ideas around, the complications that come up when things don't go as we expect during a delivery, the emotional aspects of feeling like maybe our bodies failed us or we failed in some way as women, incorporating those experiences into, kind of like integrating and metabolizing those experiences of the delivery, working on desensitizing the scar area, just going really slowly and gently and helping her release a lot of that trauma from her tissues. So that's really important. I'll be working with her some more and look forward to what I know is going to happen for her in the future of really being able to integrate the difficult experiences that were wrapped up in her journey to becoming a mom. So that was just one day. And then later on that week, I worked with a toddler whose family had a fairly traumatic event, and this toddler was just trying to process. She'd been waking up at night a lot, crying and just really suffering from the fear that she had. And so helping her little body release all of that stress and tension and talking through it in really gentle ways. And I've been working with her a couple of times, and it's really sweet to be able to help her. And when you help one person in the family, of course, you help the whole family. And then yesterday, working with a mom who realized that a lot of issues from her childhood were affecting the way that she was mothering. And those traumas were also affecting the way that she was healing, again, from a cesarean birth. And so just holding space for some of those ideas as we work with the tissues and letting the tissues and the pelvis release as she's making some connections with things and releasing some of the pain from those early memories and how they've affected her as a mother, and as she's choosing to do differently than her mother did. All of this stuff is so important. And when we think about body work, we think about like, oh, I have neck pain, or I have back pain, or I have these headaches, or, my pelvis isn't, I have some pelvic dysfunction. Our bodies are not separate from our minds and from who we are. We are our bodies. We exist in our whole bodies. We don't just exist in our brains. And the experiences we have in life affect us on such a tissue level. So when we work with the tissues, we're working with life, right? We're working with all the stuff that our tissues are holding. And so that's why I feel so privileged to be a body worker and to do the type of work I do, especially working with women and the fertility and pregnancy and postpartum part of the journey of being a woman, because it's just so loaded and there's a lot to integrate there. It's so cool to be a woman and to be able to bring life into the world if we choose to, but there's a lot there. So I guess I want to share this because I know that there are going to be a lot of you that it's going to resonate for, that, you know what, yeah, I have had a hard time in my healing journey, and there may be pieces of that are related to the emotional wounds that happened along the way. And I just want to encourage you to seek help. You can get help with that. You can heal. When you heal the emotional wounds, your body heals faster. When you work with your body to help your body heal, your emotional wounds heal faster too. A lot of people like to get body work in conjunction with seeing a therapist. All of it is good. For those of you who are local to me, I'm trained in somato emotional release. So that's part of the work that I do, is helping to release emotions. and I know how to work with those. But it doesn't matter how you want to approach it necessarily. My message is that you deserve to heal, and that there are people out there who are just so excited about this work and excited to help you heal, and that's what we're here for. Like I wake up in the morning excited about what it is that I get to do, and I feel like it's so important. And if you have any questions, please reach out and ask. And I'm even happy to help find you someone in your area to work with you if you are not near me. So anyway, I hope this is encouraging for you. And again, any questions, just reach out.